happy Sunday. I don't usually do this on Sundays, but it's a long weekend going into New Year's. And I know a lot of my friends and loved ones and people are, there you go, camera, you can do it, are reflecting on their last year, and they are perhaps setting some intentions and maybe resolutions. Although if you followed me for any amount of time, you know how I feel about resolutions. Last year I did a whole therapy session on letting go of what you needed to from the year prior and then setting an intention for the next year. And so I can share that in the links or in the comments below. But today I've been spending a lot of time in scripture today and reading and reflecting back and finding my word for the year and my verse. And then Chad and I always do the letting go, burning ritual and setting intentions on New Year's Eve. So we'll do that on New Year's Eve. But I was struck by a passage that I have always loved in John 5. And I actually, at my Women at the Well ministry keynote back in September, I mentioned this at the close of it. And I dug a little bit deeper because it totally relates to what a lot of us are doing right now. A lot of us are reflecting back on this last year, and it's been a brutal year for so many people. A lot of death, a lot of suffering, and a lot of struggle. More than that, so many lessons and gifts if you do the work. And so I dug this passage back out. It's a super famous passage because it's one of Jesus's miracles, but it's John 5:5 through 9a. So this is my NLT Life Application Bible. So I'm just going to read it, and then there's a piece about it because there's a line that I love in it. So Jesus returns to Jerusalem on a Jewish holy day. There's a pool, and there's a bunch of people who are sick and paralyzed lying by the pool because it's a healing pool. And it starts in verse 5. One of the men lying there has been sick for 38 years. When Jesus saw him and knew he had been ill for a long time, he asked him, "Would you like to get well?" "I can't, sir," the sick man said. I have no one to put me into the pool when the water bubbles up. Someone else always gets there ahead of me." Jesus told him, "Stand up and pick up your mat and walk." Instantly, the man was healed. He rolled up his sleeping mat and began walking. So what I love, pick up your mat and walk. Even after Jesus asks this man by the pool, asks me, do you want to be well? Do you want to be well? And this man, his response to Jesus, to the simple question, which so many of us would respond this resounding, yes, I want to be whole. I want to be well. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. His response, I can't. Everyone always gets in front of me. He gives him a freaking excuse. He gives him an excuse as to why he can't be well. I'm going to go as far as say, blames other people. Everyone else gets in the pool before me. No one will help me. And Jesus still says, stand up, pick up your mat and walk. He commands him to pick up his mat and walk. And he heals him. And it is a miracle. There's pieces in that story, though, I don't think get enough. For me, there's a piece there that, God, we stand in our own way. Man, we stand in our own way so much. He has Jesus standing in front of him. And he obviously believes, because when Jesus tells him to stand up and walk, he does it. So not only in that moment that he is obedient to what Jesus says, he's obedient. He has to do the work and get his ass up and walk. But he also has to believe. He has to believe in the miracle. He has to believe that he has the possibility, the capability to be healed. Jesus looks at us every day that we choose him back, and he asks us, do you want to be well? We still have to do the work. We still have to pick up our freaking mat and walk. We still have to humble ourselves and know that we're not whole, that we have this yearning inside of us. It is how he wired us. And I've been thinking about this like yearning. I shared it in a post yesterday, but like we have this yearning for him. We also have this rebellion because of the fall. And this yearning and this rebellion, I always call it I always tell God, I'm like, you made me this way. Like this superhuman part of me that stands in her own way, self-sabotages, doesn't trust, lets fear take over, whatever it might be. We're made that way. We were made to yearn. We were made to yearn, not for the perfect feed, not for the perfect body, not for the perfect relationships, the perfect job, or enough money. We were made to yearn for him. But we were also, because of the fall and sin, we have rebellion in us, which I think is also one of the biggest reasons why we all self-sabotage. So many of you are going to set resolutions on Monday night, and by February 1st, you will have failed at them because you made a resolution that wasn't realistic, because you didn't set goals that were true to what you really wanted. You didn't make a plan to make it doable steps. You didn't make it about who you were created to be. You self-sabotage, you rebel, you don't think it's possible, so you don't follow through on it, because we were made to yearn and also rebel. But this story, John 5:5, do you want to be well? Jesus asks. And he gives him a damn excuse. And still, Jesus gives him the instructions and heals him. He still has to choose to get up and do the work. So I guess my challenge to you as 2018, a brutal, beautiful year full of lessons and gifts, is, do you want to be well? Are you going to choose to believe it's possible? And more than that, are you going to do the work to change your life? That's what I got. So yeah, today, I always end my videos that way. I always try to like change it up, but it just comes up. So thank you for watching. If you felt moved by this, I would love for you to share it. And I have a bunch of stuff out there for you for help if you would like to change your life. I have a ton of content on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, here on Facebook. The 777 Happy Challenge is still up, but it's not going to be running content again until spring break. The 66 Happy Habit is always available and running for you to join when you want to do that. And then my first and only online curriculum of the Brené Brown curriculum starts January 10th. So all that information is on my website, JustineFroelker.com. If you're ready to go beyond just consuming all of the books and the videos and make real change in your life through community and tribe and me as your guide, I would love to have you. I would like to get a few more people in the group. It's going to be an intimate group going through this curriculum all online on Thursday nights for 4 months. So that's available on JustineFroelker.com. So do you want to be well? Are you going to believe that you can be? And are you going to choose to do the work? Happy New Year.